welcome to my store. I'll be with you in just a moment. I'm just checking some stock. Got a lot of stuff back here, you understand? There we are. That's what I was looking for. I thought I'd lost something, but turns out I'm just losing me mind. It was there after all. Oh, that's nice to get off my bones. Well, welcome to my shop. As you've no doubt guessed, I'm Raymond, and I'm the proprietor of this here little store. Now I will warn you, while my stock is large and vast beyond any wonder in the worlds, I don't have everything. But again, I'll warn you, I'm the only merchant within 170 miles. So if I don't have it, chances are you won't be able to get it. Sorry, I'm just finishing off me ledger. Please, take a seat there. It's quite late, and obviously it's very dark, but I work late into the night, still. Fully dressed, of course. Well, no. Never turned away the custom. Can't afford to in these times. Well, times have changed, haven't they? Just squaring away me ledger there. Do you mind if I... Wait, it's the wrong bloody ear, isn't it? I always lose this little thing. Oh, we don't mind if I... Oh no, I don't light it. Oh, I haven't lit a cigar for I don't know how many years. At least 50. I can't afford to. Nobody makes them anymore. I just like the flavour. It's not something I can maybe explain very well, but, well, life isn't full of luxuries anymore. Well, my life isn't so bad. I deal in trade, make what little coin I can. Do you know I would make far more money if I wasn't so privy to sampling my own goods? It's always been a fallback of mine, even before the quakes. Well, I did wonder because you do look quite young. Well, let me tell you, it's a blessing that you weren't here for the quakes. They were, well, less said about that the better. I don't think we want to go down that road. Well, I'm from a place called Ireland. Dublin, actually. Not that Ireland's really a place anymore, but... Well, before the plates and the quakes, Ireland was this lovely little isle. The Emerald Isle, it was called. Just sat off a place called Great Britain. I always found that name quite self-indulgent. Great. Who named you Great? Well, it doesn't matter, but if you could see a map from the way the world looked before the quakes, before the earths and the seas all moved, you'd understand what Ireland was like. It was a quaint place. A place that, well, it was homely. Wherever you went, wherever you stepped foot, Ireland was a lovely place. And I miss it every day of my life. I tell you what, I'll come back to story time. What is it you were looking for? Don't let me lose me cigar. Only got a few left. Looking for some fresh food. Well, tell you what I do have. I have a couple of bags of freshly picked apples. Now, obviously, apples are not cheap because, well, there aren't too many apple trees left in the world. But I know a guy who has a little orchard, maybe the last orchard, and I don't know how many miles. I have never met anyone else that can grow apples, but I'm going to give you a little sample. Bear with me 2 moments and I'll cut you a slice. Now this apple, it fell off the tree just not but a couple of days ago. Here, have a slice. I'll try one as well because I'm a glutton for my own food. The sweetness, it's not like anything I've ever tasted. Well, I used to eat these things all the time. Thought nothing of it. Oh, wow. There's something terribly beautiful about the sweetness of an apple. It reminds me of home. Yeah, I think everything reminds me of home. Oh no, I still got my hat on. I am dressed to impress the whole day. I'm a merchant. I live a merchant and I will probably die a merchant. Well, what do you think of the apple? Of course you do. What's not to love? Well, for a bag of apples, a bag is 10 apples. Okay, you're an ounce of silver. 1 ounce. Or I can sell you the apples at 1/10 of an ounce per apple. Oh, you're a har. Let me put me cigar down if you're going to start driving bargains. Well, if you're going to buy in bulk, as you're saying to me, 10 apples, an ounce, bulk times 10, drop the card 1 and 4 and 3, and okay, I can maybe move that across, and I can probably make a bit more money with that later. Fine, okay. Well, I think I'll just... How's about 10 apples for 7/10 of a silver? Is that agreeable? Mark you down for 10 apples, 1 bag, 7/10 of a silver ounce. Have you got the cash? I tell you what, we'll go through what you're looking to buy for the whole day. Then I'll ring you up at the end. You're at 7/10. Okay. So I've got the apple out of the way. What else would you be liking? That smell, as I said, is freshly baked bread. I know a guy who, well, he mills flour. And of course there aren't many bakers left in the world, probably. I only know one, and because I only know one, he charges me a fortune. But I tell you what, I've got a couple of fresh loaves, and I have one I was just about to cut for my food. Well, probably for the next 3 or 4 days. Even I'm not that greedy. I'll get a couple of slices of bread for us, will I? No, don't worry. I'd be eating it anyway. See, that's one of me flaws. I can't help but eating my own produce. Or my own wares, rather. I didn't produce the damn bread. God, if I could make bread, I wouldn't be living in this shop. I'd be retired. Let me just... Now he takes a giant amount of dough. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. Oh, and the smell. It's so fresh. Comes right out of the oven. Straight up to my shop. Oh, he delivered it about midday today. So it's not but 6 years old. 6 years. 6 hours, I think is what I'm trying to say. I think the apple went straight to my head. I'll cut us a wee slice. Don't think that. Well, here. Probably being a little bit too kind with the chunk of loaf I'm giving you here. Here you go. Enjoy that. Don't mind if I do. I'll tear myself off a little bit as well. Oh, if that isn't the nicest bread you've ever tasted in your entire life, well, I'm afraid that makes you a liar, doesn't it? I thought you might want some. Wait, I need to finish this little bit off because it's absolutely gorgeous. I don't know how he does it. I don't know how he makes flour taste like this. It's absolutely beautiful. The bread's not cheap. It's really not very cheap. Sometimes I actually hate myself for how much I have to charge. Okay, well, I don't hate myself, but honestly, the markup isn't that high. I promise you that. Okay. Now, one of the loaves of bread comes in a 2 silver 50 or 5/10. Okay, put you down for a loaf of that. Okay. Well then, that takes you to 3 ounces and 2/10. Right. Is there anything else I can... You know what might wash down that little bit of bread? Something sweet for the teeth. The apple's sweet, but it's a different type of sweetness. I wasn't going to show you this actually, but... Well... Earlier today, a friend of mine brought in some chocolate. I know. Now, chocolate is obviously very expensive because it's almost impossible to make. Well, I do know a guy who also knows a guy. I can cut you off a very, very small little slice of this chocolate. It's the creamiest, milkiest, sweetest thing you will ever taste in your entire life. I promise you that. No word of a lie. I'll break you off a tiny segment of this. I warned you though. It's the tastiest thing. Insists on making them in these giant bars. Oh, I tell you. There we go. Wonderful. Yeah, now. This only came out of the mould last night. I know for a fact. There you go. Please. This is free. You'll never get anyone offering you a bit of chocolate for free again in the rest of your days. I promise you that. I, of course, will also indulge. Oh. By Merlin's beard. The creaminess of that. You'll never have tasted milk or cream in your life, but They're a large component of what goes into chocolate. Oh, I tell you. I'm gonna have one more little bit. Here, you can have one too. I can't help myself, I'm sorry. Enjoy that. It's just the tastiest thing. Absolutely wonderful, isn't it? The creaminess. So sweet. So tasty. Right. So you're 3 silver, 2 deaths. Now the chocolate per square is 10 silver 5 per square. I know it's extortionate. I appreciate that. And I'm sorry, you can get an entire loaf of bread for half the price, less than that even. A third of the price. A quarter of the price. That was never my strong point. 10 silver and 5. Oh, you'll take a square. Well, a square is about that. I can show you the square. You'll take one. Of course you will. I don't blame you. I would spend a fortune on this stuff, but I just did by giving you a slice. 10.50. Well, that takes your grand total to 13 silver and 7 tenths. Well, I'm in no rush. Friend, I have nowhere else to be. All I'm doing after this is, again, finishing off my damn ledger. And, well, getting a bit more food and going to bed. Ready to greet all of the sellers tomorrow and try to push those bargains to keep me afloat. Well, I became a merchant, like many others, because, well, you turned to what you could. Well, after the plates moved and, well, the world as we knew crumbled, I was sweet on a lass. We both survived the quakes. She's lovely. Crystal, her name was. Oh, what a fair maiden she was. We escaped to one of the make-up towns. Everything was panic and chaos. Of course, once basic social society broke down, social services stopped. You don't understand is how much food human beings actually consume. How quickly food runs out when there's nobody to make it, in the quantities that we eat it. When you're not eating right, you're not as healthy, more susceptible to illnesses. I was going to say that's when the plague broke out, but it wasn't really a plague. It was called the wheezing cough. And to get it was to die, because there was no antibiotics left. It's incredible how quickly that stuff disappears. If you got the cough, you would slowly degenerate over a couple of weeks, getting weaker and weaker. It doesn't matter what you ate or what you drank, your body couldn't seem to absorb the nutrients. I don't know how many it killed, but a lot. It killed a lot of people. I don't really know how it spread, to be honest. People thought it was by touch. People thought it was in the air, but, well, I contracted the wheezing cough, didn't I? Crystal was fine. She didn't ever contract it. But there was a lot of hysteria about, well, people who were caught with the wheezing cough should be segregated or isolated, or in some cases worse, put to death. It was quite barbaric, really. Anyway, I was in the town and there was an outbreak of the wheezing cough. And at the time there was some kind of sentiment of guard, Royal Guard I think they were called, the Royal Guards of Achthelion. It was quite a strange name, but these men were charged with eradicating the Weezers, as they were called. I remember that. I remember lying in the bed, and as the weeks passed on, growing weaker and weaker, I remember the blackness around the eyes, enclosing and closing. I thought I was going blind. But apparently that's just death coming for you. It gets closer and closer to you than when the darkness is all consuming. Well, are you sure you want to hear this? I don't want to put it down on you. We had such lovely food and all that. Well, if you insist. The Royal Guard. They came charging down on our town one day, or so I was told. Now, the Royal Guard were known to be ruthless, merciless in eradication, maximum prejudice, I think they called it. They would ride into these little towns full of all these Weezers and slice every man, woman and child down, regardless of their healthiness. They weren't particular. If there was even one person in the town, they would take care of the situation, we'll say. Well, these Royal Guards crested the hill and came charging down into our town. Now, Crystal was in an impossible situation because I was dead, essentially. I had maybe a day, an hour, I don't know, left. But I remember the darkness being all around me at that point. I couldn't see anything. I could barely talk. I don't even think I was fully conscious. But these Royal Guard came stumbling down this hill in their mounts. And the townspeople turned to run. I told Crystal to run. I remember uttering the word run over and over. And I remember her walking out the door, crying. She was crying. So anyone that was healthy left and fled before the Royal Guard descended onto the town. The only thing, the Royal Guard weren't coming to kill us. They'd found a cure for the wheezing cough. I don't really know how they'd even made it, because I don't know what technology was left in the world at that time, but they had manufactured a cure of some kind. And they were charging into the town to save people's lives. I was administered the cure, and right enough, within a day or two, I was back on my feet, anxious to run after Crystal. I don't know where she went at the time. I couldn't find her. I tried every road and where's possible, every town. Searching for 2.5 years to try and find her. What little coin I had, I spent doing silly jobs in little towns to make a bit more money to move on to the next town. And then one day, well, I found her, didn't I? I found her. Things were a little bit different, I suppose, from the way I remember it as a child. procreation is probably the most important thing human beings can do now, because so many of us died between the wheezing and the quakes and the plates. She had moved on and married a man. And I didn't have the heart to spoil the happiness. She had a wee boy grabbing onto her hand. She was walking off to the market. I just caught the back of her head. I'll never forget that. And as I said, I didn't have the heart to stop her and tear her away from the life that she'd now made. But I love her. I'll never stop loving her. Crystal's the most beautiful, most honest and funny, intelligent, understanding woman I've met in my entire life. We had a chemistry that was like nothing else. We could finish each other's sentences. We would know what the other one thinking without even saying a word. Sometimes I wondered why we even bothered talking. We could just sit and look at each other. And she had the prettiest eyes, I tell you that. The prettiest eyes. Nothing felt quite like having her skin touching mine. And I don't want to sound like I'm heartbroken. This was years ago, of course. A long, long time ago. I never moved on because, well, it wouldn't have seemed right. No woman could compare to Crystal. No one ever could. I'm not sad. I'm not a cynic. I found love. Even though she belongs to another now, I don't really feel like that. I know that might not make any sense to you, but in my heart and my head we're together. And that's enough for me. I lead my life with my shop. I enjoy the little luxuries I get with the foods, chocolate. And I'm content with that. I know it's not really something that you can understand, but it's true. I'm content. And I don't want that sob story to make you feel bad. Because you look like a lovely, lovely person, and I haven't opened up to this about anyone before. So thank you. Speaking of which, actually, I think we deserve a little treat. And you for having to sit through my sob story. One little thing that I don't even sell at the shop, actually. I tell you what, I'll go out into the back and I'll get this little something for us. And I promise you this. You won't try it again. You won't get this stuff anywhere in the world. But I've got it. And it's not for sale. But for you, I'll happily share it. Hold on. Don't worry, I'm back. Now, let me grab a couple of glasses for us as well. Oh, it's a... Even these glasses, they were cut especially for me, do you know that? Now, what I have to share with you today is something that you won't get anywhere else in the world. I promise you that. It doesn't really have a scent, but it's so rare and so difficult to come by because there's other things that can be made with this product. It's probably a little bit more valuable, but that makes this in a weird way even more rare. Let me show you. That's right. This my friend, is milk. That glass right there, it's not worth less than 2 gold pieces. I don't even know why I'm doing this, but it feels right. I'll pour myself a glass, because why not? This stuff is very, very rare. I remember drinking milk like there was none. Cheers to good times and good friendship. Oh, now isn't that just the creamiest thing? I think I said the same thing about the chocolate, but the chocolate's got a little bit of milk in it. Probably had a lot more back in olden times, but this is just unfiltered. Beautiful. I tell you that. And that is on the house, my friend. You're only due me the 13 silver. And the 7. That's all you're due me. The rest is on the house, because, well, I feel much better after that little story. I tell you that for nothing. Well, let's just finish off our milk, get about getting this paid for, and let you be on your way. My God, I tell you what, by Merlin, that's a damn fine taste. Oh, it'll linger in your mouth and your tongue for hours to come. Beautiful. Now, let me get me bag of coins. I don't really move this around very much, but right, yes, I said it's 13.70. If you want to give me the 14, I'll give you the 3/10 back. Little coins here. I forgot to change in these little bags here. Yeah. Grab me monocle and I'll just... There we go. I think that's me. That's me 1/10 of a silver ounce. I'd like to just have a wee look at that there. Sure enough. If we can actually get you to have a little look at that. That's 1/10 of an ounce. Printed by the old Silverback Company. They don't exist anymore, I tell you that. No. Right. If you want to bring out to 14 silver, we'll get you paid and get you squared away. Well, that's not 14 pieces of silver, sir. What is this that you're trying to give me here? What is that? For the love of God. Is that what I think it is? That's a golden sovereign, my friend. What are you doing with one of those? A sovereign's the equivalent of 136 gold pieces. Where did you come by the coin? I didn't even know they existed anymore. Well, You what? No, I can't be taking this coin off you, sir. I can't be taking this coin off you. It's worth more than everything I've got in me damn store. I refuse to take that. Like I said, it total is 13.70 silver, not gold. I could retire with this coin You could retire with this coin. I don't understand where you got it from, but I can't take that off you. I just can't. It's not right. You have a whole bag of them. What? Where did you come by all this money? I don't think that's right. Well, I don't know what to say. That's the only bit of kindness I've ever seen since the plates. Well, thank you so much. I share my food and my wares because it makes people happy. I didn't expect to get paid for them, let alone my entire shop's worth, and 50 times more over. Thank you so much. I can't believe you're just going to give me the coin like it's nothing. Thank you so much. I can't thank you enough for this. Honestly, from the bottom of my heart. I'll get all this wrapped up for you and get you squared away. Are you sure you won't accept some change? You can buy the store for that much money. It's yours. I find this very difficult to do, friend, but thank you so much. Thank you. The pleasure was all mine. I hope to see you again. Thank you. And thanks for coming to Raymond's.